Hey, but college football playoff is going to shake up so chaotically. The SEC is absolutely nuts. Nuts. You guys have how many? 9 teams ranked in the top 25. Yep. Could arguably have 5 teams in the college football playoff. It'll probably be 4. And the playoff that I have written up has you guys as Tennessee just getting the bad luck end of the stick and just missing out. If you want, I can read what the playoff is going to look like from my lens. I have the number 1 team is going to be Ohio State. I think they beat Indiana this weekend. I think they get Oregon in the Big Ten championship. I think on like a neutral site.
Let's assume
I think they get Oregon because I think it will be tough for Oregon to just beat a team like Ohio State twice. So I think they get Oregon in the Big Ten championship. I have Alabama as my number 2. I see Texas handling business against A&M, and I think the way it'll unfold, because we have no clue how it's going to unfold, there's going to be so many 2-loss great teams for the SEC that could get in. But I think the resume will get Alabama into the SEC championship. I think Alabama gets Texas in the SEC championship because Bama's been playing tough since they lost and dropped one at Tennessee. My number 3 team, I just think Miami's they're going to win. They're going to beat SMU in the ACC championship. I think they'll get in. They're my 3. My number 4, and this is going to take a lot. This is just me throwing a Hail Mary. I'm going to say Colorado. I'm going to say Colorado finishes the year, becomes a 2-loss team. They'll get
Sun Devils?
Hear me out. Just hear me out. Oh, Colorado's playing nice. So is Arizona too.
Yeah.
Like the fact that ASU was seen to be last in the Big 12,
yes,
like 0 shot, and now they're fighting to get in the Big 12 championship. They have a tough one against BYU this week. I'm sure we'll break it down in the locker room on Thursday. But I have Colorado just winning out, being a 2-loss team. I think they will rank them ahead of Boise State, which if you're a conference champion, the higher seed will get the number 4 slot. So Colorado being my number 4. My number 5 will be Oregon. They'll be a 1-loss team, losing to the number 1 team in the country. They'll drop down to 5. You're going to have a Penn State team that's just going to be a 1-loss Penn State team, and it's going to be to Ohio State by a few points. Ohio State's going to be the number 1 team. Penn State will be 6. Notre Dame will win out. They'll beat Army this weekend. They'll be 7. I got Texas after losing the SEC championship. They're going to drop down to 8. And then I think you have Ole Miss gets in at 9, Georgia at 10, Indiana will be a 1-loss team just to Ohio State. They'll drop down to like 11. Then I have Boise State being the G5. They'll be the 12 seed. That's my college football playoff.
Just a lot of pain in Jack's eyes right now.
And Jack, you know I'm a GBO guy. You know I'm sort of a GBO guy.
You're trying to look at it through a clear lens.
I do. I root for you guys. I wanted you guys to beat Georgia. I just think like luck of the draw. Your one win, your like big win will be Alabama. You beat them by a few points at home. Alabama, there's a lot of laundry. Both teams were missing balls deep. But since Alabama has lost to you guys, they've handled business against everybody else. What was it, Florida?
We've allowed 2 touchdowns in the last 3.
That's what I'm saying. Like they've handled their business so well that their strength of resume is like Georgia, South Carolina, Mizzou, LSU. Like I just think that they will have better common opponent, like better, stronger wins. Especially if the Gamecocks finish out as a 3-loss team, they'll be one of the better teams in the SEC. They're going to have wins over all those teams, and I think that's where just your luck, where you haven't gotten the opportunity to beat some of these teams the way Alabama has, Georgia, Ole Miss. So I think you guys will just have bad luck because Indiana, they're going to lose to Ohio State, but they're going to be, and let's just say you guys are a better football team than Indiana. I know everybody's arguing about SEC should have all these teams in. They're better football teams. That is definitely true. But you're going to have a 1-loss Indiana team that's only, who knows how badly they're going to lose to Ohio State if they lose to Ohio State. But if they're just a 1-loss team, they're going to be just like Penn State, losing to the number 1 team in the country. And I think they're just going to get in because they'll be ranked higher than what Tennessee probably will be. Because you guys have just lost
Indiana wins.
If Indiana wins, I mean, that's fucking awesome. That means Ohio State lost. I'm just thinking I feel like this is how it's kind of going to work itself out. I feel like Ohio State will be able to get one on Oregon in the Big Ten championship.
If Ohio State loses to Indiana and they win out, they're going to make the playoff. Regardless.
You talking about Indiana?
No, I'm talking about Ohio State. If Ohio State loses to Indiana, it doesn't matter as long as they beat Michigan.
Yeah, I think
they're ranked too high right now.
Because Indiana will keep climbing. They'll face Oregon in the Big Ten championship. And both of them will go.
I think all 3 of those teams will make it to the play. Well, yeah, Penn State as well.
If Indiana beats
Penn
Ohio,
State, Penn State's just going to be there.
they're just going to be there. They're going to be there.
They're going to be there. They're going to lose the first team that's ranked in the top 5.
Yeah. That's where it sucks. And even people that are pro SEC, and I get it. I get why you guys have the best conference. But if you guys look at,
you're just saying a bunch of shit that like the last 2 years you've been fighting for.
I know. I know. I do several different bits. This is a bit. Listen, I gotta just.
Oh, now we're doing bits.
Yeah. We're stick by stick. We have brick by bricks. We have stick by sticks.
We're stick by stick.
One of our sticks has been, or mine. I'll speak for myself because you might still be pro Big Ten.
Reminder: Big Ten won the national championship last year.
For sure.
Okay.
The trophy lives in the Big Ten.
This year.
I'm with
this year.
I agree. But top to bottom, you got 9 quality teams ranked in the top. Like the SEC, bro. And what I was going to say is people who are pro SEC, you want Ohio State to beat Indiana because if Indiana beats Ohio State, that's when you're going to look at a spot where the Big Ten is going to get 4 teams into the playoff. SEC will still probably get 4, but if there's going to be SEC is going to get the majority of their teams, you need Ohio State to win out or, if you drop one to Oregon in the Big Ten championship. But all to say, the only way the Big Ten gets 4 teams in the playoff is if Indiana, Wait. They still got 4.
I think Big Ten's getting 4 in.
I'm dumb as fuck.
Regardless. And I think SEC obviously gets 4 in regardless too. It's just a matter of what combination of 4 because they have so many that can possibly get into the dance.
Oh, here's what I'm saying. You want Ohio State to beat the shit out of Indiana. Yeah, because if not, Indiana will have the argument to be a 10 or 11 seed if they barely lose to Ohio State. That's where, no matter what, the Big Ten will probably have 4 in there. Because, bro, you can't say until this Ohio State Indiana.
The fun thing about this playoff, because it is shaking up, this is the best year to have a 12-team playoff. If there's 4 from the Big Ten and 4 from the SEC, hopefully those 8 teams go at it during the playoff, and then we can really have something to stand on who has the best conference.
Because in your mind, look at this, just this right here. For Texas, A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina. How many teams do you think Penn State's beating right there?
I think they beat A&M.
They could be. I could see them beating A&M.
I could see them beating A&M. Could see South Carolina being a game. Being a game.
But other than that, bro.
And then Ole Miss, they lost to Kentucky. Like they've shown times of where they can falter. They can falter and fall away. You just don't know. But Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, yeah, it's a blowout.
Yeah. You see with the SEC that
I understand where you're coming from,
and it sucks.
But I'm also saying, brother. But we won it last year, and we're gonna have 4 in there. Let's hold the SEC. All of a sudden, has the crown in your mind till we get to see it because we're going to have the opportunity to watch it unfold this year.
Yeah,
we're gonna have the chance to see these boys duke it out and what's what. But you're right.
I also like talking a little bit about reality, and the reality is the SEC has some fucking squads.
Yeah.
Like if South Carolina
wins
out in a solid fashion, they're gonna be a 3-loss team that's pissed because if they finish with 3 losses, will have been 2 plays away. LSU and Alabama from being a 1-loss fucking Gamecocks team.
Expand the playoff.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be.
I have a question,
and I hope Notre Dame beats the shit out of Army. Yeah, I do not want a world where Boise State wins out, Army wins out, and you're looking at 2 of these.
The most unpatriotic thing you've ever said.
Because bro, they would get again. It's like bring up the standings of Big Ten or SEC. They would get mopped by a lot of those teams.
Piss down their leg again in the playoffs?
They might. You're right, but bro, then you're looking at what? You're still looking at Boise State and Army being in the goddamn playoff.
Hey. Boise State's got a real shot out there.
Boise State has a harder schedule than Notre Dame.
Boise State is going to lose in the first round.
So is Notre Dame.
Maybe.
They beat A&M. Sure, I understand the fight you're doing. Will Compton grew up a Notre Dame fan. There's a piece of him when he sees that golden helmet that still gets him juiced up a little bit. And he doesn't have that same feeling for
beat
Boise
A&M.
State.
They did. They lost to Northern Illinois, but on his argument of like,
how good is A&M? Who else is A&M playing?
A&M is number 2 in the SEC as of right now.
But who have they beaten in the SEC? I mean, they're just like Texas. They haven't really.
Please grab a mic if you're gonna. Please grab a mic.
They haven't really faced anybody this year.
I mean, they faced
like the LSU game was like super hyped up. Look at LSU now.
LSU still, even though everybody's calling for Brian Kelly and he should be called for, it's like LSU's not like a bad football team.
No, but
they're just an underperforming LSU team.
Yeah. They're losing. I don't know. I'm just saying
Notre Dame getting in, once again, they've never won a New Year's Six Bowl or BCS Bowl. They have never won a CFP game. Like,
crazy
that's
stat.
crazy. Why let him in
Sherman
again?
is, before the season started, he sat me down and he was like, I don't like Notre Dame. I don't like them. I think it was before A&M Notre Dame, and you were talking about how you had all those stats. You don't like them. Now you're sitting with a man having a conversation who does like Notre Dame. I get it. That's beautiful.
It's not necessarily that. It's just.
But to say you don't want Army in the playoff, that'd be fucking awesome to have Army in the playoff.
Or Boise State. You don't want to see Genty just run all over some blue
Boise
blood?
State,
would
I
be
have them in.
unbelievable.
I have them in. I have Boise State in.
It would be a 5 because it's the highest non-group of 5, right?
If Notre Dame lost, and that's where Boise gets the shot to go to number 5, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Or Army, if they're ranked above
See?
Boise.
You get
because
Army
they-
or Boise at number 5, that's fucking nuts, bro.
Will, if I said to you Indiana's going to be 5 this year, you would say the same thing in the same category as Boise State and Army. You would put Indiana and be there. That's fucking wild at number 5.
Indiana would blow the brakes off of Boise
I'm not
State.
saying that. I'm saying before
No, they
the season
wouldn't.
started.
Blow the brakes off of them.
No, they would not.
Yeah, before the season started, of course.
Right.
Nebraska's in my
But
playoff before the
Indiana,
season started.
a team that's for the first time in their life had 10 wins. For the first time in their football program, they have 10 wins. And they're number 5, and no one's even batting an eye at that.
But they're
Like,
beating
oh, it's
shit.
great. They're going to make it.
They're running through the Big Ten right now.
They're running through. They almost lost to a below average Michigan football team.